how did you take the first step? Because that's really hard to do. I mean, going from, hey, I'm looking for a job in HR, which great, those can be great roles, but you didn't fit in the box. You were a square peg in a round hole, and then you said, oh, I'm confident enough to just meet strangers and buy a couple of beers and hang out and see what they say. How did you make that leap?
I think I think my real superpower is that I underestimate the complexity of things. And I'm always a little bit too, oh, hell yes, let's try that. So back then I was reading the Harvard Business Review and finding all this inspiration on how we could, in a perfect world, work together and encourage our employees. And I was listening to all the podcasts, how easy it can be to build an online business. I was a big fan of Pat Flynn, who basically on his podcast shared that you can build a business around anything, even around fly fishing, even if you don't know anything about fly fishing. So I think it was just sufficient naivete and underestimation of the complexity that let me just lean in, combined with a huge anxiety of what am I doing with all that time?
Yeah, you've got a lot of time when you leave academic world and you're looking for a gig and thinking about what you want to do next. All you have is time.
Yeah. And
So
that's
the fear
scary.
was really
Mhm.
curbed. It was curbed though, Miriam, by having this push within you to meet some people and do something because sitting at home wasn't going to play out well. So it was that social feeling or need that got you out of the house and got you to do this.
Definitely. So I moved I lived for 3 years in Vietnam. From Vietnam, went to Luxembourg, suffered a severe reverse culture shock because Luxembourg is just the smallest country in Europe. And after Ho Chi Minh City was quite impressive. And then moved, and there I only worked. So I didn't really build a social network. And from there I moved to Amsterdam, where I literally didn't know anyone. So I would go to meetups a lot just to meet other people and to get a little bit of inspiration. And had the impression that in Amsterdam, everyone is a solopreneur. Everyone is some sort of a coach or an entrepreneur. And then just hanging out with them and seeing how others do it, I realized that all I have to do is to post an event on the platform and find a space in my co-working space.